I say we just start.
Let's do it. Let's just dive
do it.
right in. Happy Friday, Joel. How the heck are you?
Good morning. So for really quick, for those who don't know, this is Binge Live, the LAX Coastal Chamber. We're getting through some issues right now, but it's all good. It's all good.
Skip the intro and we want to jump right into the meat of the matter.
We just don't want to waste time today. We're just going to get this. I mean, we've got thousands of people watching because of who our special guest is today. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, he's got a lot of pressure on him.
He does. No pressure. Do you want to do the honors and bring him on out?
He can wait. Let's find out how we're doing first. Okay. I mean, come on, we're just as important here. Just saying. So how are you?
Good. How the heck are you doing? Keep busy, right?
Getting there, getting busy. We're trying not to go outside too much because, it's a little toasty out here in the desert.
Is it over 100 still?
Oh, yeah. I think today's 112. Tomorrow's like 117.
Whew, that pool is looking mighty nice right about now.
Word. Although it needs a cover on it because I got my first sunburn of the season, but that's okay.
Oh, no
it's
way.
Okay. Well, it's my version. It's really my version of a tan.
Yes, so, it'll tan.
Yeah. And how about you? What's going on?
Good. We've been doing, a lot of stuff. Actually, we just finished I'm sure you're aware of the drought and all of the water restrictions and things happening. We just finished an episode 7 with the Southern California Water Coalition. It's their What Matters Water TV and podcast. And they talk about the site's reservoir and all about what's going on, with droughts and what we can do. So that's up on their YouTube now, and that's exciting.
I know we're having a lot of discussions because we have a lot of new developments coming in out here. So water restrictions are getting tighter out here, especially. So we got to talk to all the clients about that, especially if you're buying a house and it's got sprinklers, got to talk to you about it. But then there's like wave pools and there's a lot of controversy right now around, but we'll see what pans out. But drought, fun.
We're all doing our part. But speaking of water, actually, we have a guest today, Mr. Kelly King, who is the general manager and dock master of Villa Del Mar Apartments. Come on down.
Or just turn on your camera. Nice hand.
Hey, nice. Can you see me?
Yes.
High five. You did great.
This is a lot of technology for me. Come on.
Welcome, Kelly. How are you doing? Tell us everything. How's the marina looking today?
The marina's got June gloom, so it's a little cloudy out, but it'll turn out nice. The marina's great. You can't complain. It's a nice place to be. Most people are nice here. You got things to do. So we're very excited.
You're really selling it. Really selling it.
Yeah, it's my job to sell the marina.
And you're like the marina historian as far as I'm, concerned, right? You have a very long-rooted history with the marina.
So I have actually been at my job, don't roll over, 33 years. So I've been in the marina 33 years at the same job. So we own 209 boat slips and 200 apartments here. And so I take care of all those. And then involvement in the marina, I was 10 years the president of the boat parade. So for those of you that have seen the boat parade, it's the first Saturday or second Saturday in December, always. So that's great. The Historical Society is here. So if you're really interested in the history of the marina, there is a historical society, which is kind of neat. And, the marina is an interesting place, and I'll bore you just 5 minutes with some facts because people don't understand. So the Marina Del Rey was built as the largest man-made marina in the world when it was built. And now Dubai has knocked us down to the nation. So we're still the largest man-made marina in the nation. Marina Del Rey proper is unincorporated. So if you live in Marina Del Rey, you don't vote for anything having to do with the city of Los Angeles. So we're not involved in voting for mayor, city council, things like that. We do have a supervisor. So that's who, and then Department of Beaches and Harbors. So if you ever want to be snotty and ask people if they really live in the marina, just ask them if they vote for mayor. And if they say yes, they don't live here. But an interesting thing, Marina Del Rey is lease land. Yeah. And combined, in ground release last year, the county collected $57 million in ground lease rent from the lessees in Marina Del Rey. People don't realize that, you know, there's 1,300 hotel rooms, almost 5,000 slips, 150 businesses. So Marina Del Rey, for as small as it is very large.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know LA County is the 18th largest economy in the world. So think about that. LA County alone is 18 in the world for economy. So that's my history lesson on Marina Del Rey. Now ask me whatever else you want.
I love
Okay,
it.
so really quick. So you've been there for 33 years. So
Yes.
how has it been watching the marina go and turn into what it's become?
Mhm.
It's been a big change. You know, when I first got here, you know, there were, at the end of our block, there was Neptune, which is now a Spree.
Mhm.
Neptune was a 2-story building. So everything in the marina was basically 1-story or 2-story.
Mhm.
Some were 4, like we're 4, but we have parking underneath and then 3 living stories. So say 4 stories was the biggest. Now you've got 6 stories. Used to be I could look across the street and see the marina. Now I see a big building. So it's amazing. I mean, you know, housing is needed in LA everywhere. You know, people need housing, but it's just so many people now. But I grew up in Signal Hill, and when I lived up on the hill, my parents lived there all their life. You know, we had no neighbors. There were 3 houses on our street.
Oh my gosh.
And the 2 houses next to us belonged to the same family, and they didn't have any kids. So, you know, now you go to Signal Hill and there's houses all over Signal Hill. So, I mean, it is not just unique to the marina. I mean, everywhere is being built, but it is, you look at some of this stuff and you think, how did they get it passed to be built? And then you look at some things that are really beautiful that they built. So you know, and change, you got to adapt and you got to change. I mean, the world is never going to be the same, and your little neighborhood is never going to be the same. It's always going to change. So you got to just go with it.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite things that have been added to the marina since you've been there?
Since I've been here since the early 1900s.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Phones? No, I just kidding.
The internet.
The internet. Let's see. Well, around the area, they've added Trader Joe's, which is great. So we actually now have a really cool Trader Joe's. So some of the businesses that come, there's a See's Candy, and I'm addicted to See's Candy. So there's a See's Candy. So some of the smaller businesses that have come in, or bigger businesses. I think one of the nice, besides ours, of course, developments that went up was Neptune. I think as you drive down our street, Neptune, I don't know if you come down to the marina, it's a long ways for you all, I understand that. Like I'd never get to Westchester because it's too far. But it is, some of the things are really, really, really pretty. You know, they've done a really good job. There's some new businesses opening. There's 3 new restaurants that are at Pier 44, the Pashai project there by where Trader Joe's is, which is nice. We kept our CPK, which is nice. We lost Islands. They closed down here. So it's you know, you kind of gain and lose.
And the best thing about that Trader Joe's is there's actually parking.
Yes. Well, you know, if you had your boat here, you can take your dinghy over there because they have dinghy docks. So I have a lot of boaters. There's a lot of boaters that go there by their dinghy, which is kind of fun. You know,
Yeah,
how many people say they go shopping by boat?
I love it. I would totally shop at Trader Joe's by boat.
I'm just picturing Kelly would have like a motorized inner tube though. I don't know why. I'm just picturing like something from Bumper Boats. Like that's all that I can picture. Is he would just be out there going like, especially when he's coming back after, I think it was one of his favorite restaurants.
Don't tell people about Tony Peace, because then you got to like pay homage to him, because he is Marina Del Rey.
Notice we didn't say the name, you did. So
I know. You know why? Because it's just on my mind all the time. But I walk there because it's safer. But they do have now the boats, the water taxi, I think they changed it too. The problem is being here so long, they changed names of things and then I can't remember. Yeah. Like, you know, Neptune is now Esprit. Who, you know, it's hard to remember these things. But you can take the water taxi, so it makes it even easier.
That's awesome.
Oh, the struggles. Oh, this sucks.
It's a tough life.
I'm like, I feel for you. Like, how do you do this? I mean, I'm assuming it's okay. You're okay. You're holding on.
You're hanging in there.
I
You
forgot.
stay hydrated. That's it.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So talk to us about the boat parade. How did you get involved in that? Like, how did that all turn? Like, yeah.
So the boat parade is actually its 60th year this year.
Wow.
Norma Pratt started it. It was a local thing, and then Willie. Do you all know Willie from the Historical Society? Maybe not, but she's a big in the Marina. She's, and I just volunteered for it, and then just got asked to be on the board, and then became president, and we just had a big kickoff for it at CYC, which was kind of fun because we had I think 4 presidents there over the years, and Norma was there, so and she started, so it was kind of fun to do that. We picked our theme this year, which is Sparkle on the Water.
Ooh.
So we have a theme, and I just got an email, which I'll just tell you guys because it's a secret, but the supervisor has agreed to be the Grand Marshal, so Holly Mitchell will be the Grand Marshal this year.
Oh, wow.
So
So,
cool.
but the boat parade is really fun. It's a big commitment because we meet. It's like we just don't put it on, that one day. Well, it is just one day, the parade, but the rest of it, because we plan for a whole year on it, and it is all volunteers, and we raise money. So we hit up the businesses around here to raise money. We do get the county most of the time to pay for the fireworks. So there's a 5-minute fireworks show, which, in case you ever want to have a fireworks show for 5 minutes, it'll cost you about 10 grand. Just so you know. So when you're doing your party planning, know that it will cost you about $10,000 plus the permits.
You are just giving us.
I know for
inside
your
knowledge.
up, you probably want to have fireworks, and I can hook you up, but it's going to cost you 10 grand. I know the.
He
Um,
knows it.
You got a guy.
You got it.
I got
You
it.
got the fireworks guy.
I got the fireworks guy for you, but it is fun. I mean, the parade it's so fun because people come from all over. So it's not just now Marina people that actually see it. There's people that come from all over, and it really is a fun event. And now the county has gotten a little more on board. They decorate the park. I don't know if you've ever seen it the last couple of years, but they put a ton of lights in the park. They use the same company that does like the zoo, when they light up the zoo and all that stuff. So there's a lot of it's really fun. It's a really good family event. It's fun.
And what level of boat can join said parade?
So anybody, we've got kayakers that get together and do it up to 100 and some feet. So there's a whole range of boats that do it. There's clubs that get involved. There's the yacht clubs in the Marina. There's about 5 of them. They all usually have an entry. There's a gentleman that comes from inland. He puts his boat on his trailers it here. The guy, he wins almost every other year. His boat is fantastic with all the lights and stuff, and he trailers his boat here. So it's probably 30 some feet. So it's really fun.
Wow. And you're gonna be out there in your bumper boat, right? Like,
I actually, it's kind of like, now I kind of appreciate when people have weddings and you ask the bride, how was your wedding? She can't remember. People ask me, how was the parade? I'm like, I have no idea, I didn't see it. Because I run around and, we have judges, so we got to make sure the judges are okay. We have announcers, so we got to get that stuff to them. So it's, from what I understand, it's a fun event. I really haven't seen it that much, but.
How do you get to be a judge at this parade? I'm interested.
Well, since you're all chamber members, if you're the honorary mayor, we ask you to be a judge. If you're the chairman for the year, we ask you to be a judge. And then the sponsors that we get, we ask them if they want to send a representative to be a judge. We've had the councilman, different council people. So it's just kind of who we ask. Why, you want to be a judge?
Maybe.
Come on, pony up, and I'll let you know. I'm just.
she wants to be like on The Voice or one of those things, or just kind of like, you want to be like the Simon Cowell is really what it is. Yeah.
That would be me. That's my exact role, actually.
That's so her demeanor, as we know.
Tell me I talk like him all the time, actually.
And how are things going for rentals in the Marina right now?
Very well. rents are going up, people are starting to pay again, you think that Marina is being, a little more affluent than other places or whatever, but we had quite a few people that, because of COVID, didn't pay us. So, we're trying to recoup from that, but we will. We're not going to burn the furniture for winter. We'll be okay for heat. But it is kind of interesting because there was no action at all. Just people were either staying still or we did have a lot of people that just moved out kind of in the middle of the night kind of thing. But we're back up. We have no 2 bedrooms right now. So we're kind of excited about that. 1 bedrooms very few. So the Marina as a whole is doing well. We'll see what happens.
Have you seen a lot of people also getting slots on the boats? Like, are more people living on or bringing boats to the Marina in lieu of an apartment?
The boating, as far as living on it, is very complicated because 1, you have to get a permit to do it from the county, from the sheriff's department, and 2, you have to own it in order to live aboard it in the lease. So people can't just Airbnb out there, but I mean, they try, but we'll catch, so it's hard to do that way. So, but as far as boat sales, I mean, I think they had a 20% increase in boat sales the last couple of years. I mean, just a lot of just people buying boats and or it's not to make your day Debbie Downer, but it is kind of sad because, like everything else, the world's changing and boats have been in some families for generations and generations and generations, and their kids and now kids nowadays, they just don't want to be bothered. The big thing now is kind of a timeshare boat where 5 or 6 people get together and they buy it and then they sort of exchange it. But I mean, one of the saddest stories is I've had a guy, his family's been here for 2 generations at least. His kids have no interest in the boat. They don't want to go out on it. It's too slow. It takes them too long to get to Catalina. He's going to sell it. I mean, it's really, really sad. So it is changing, but the boat industry is doing well, the sales and everything. So it's good.
So you mentioned Airbnb. How is that working? Because I mean, obviously LA has its laws on it. Have you had to run into issues with that, with people trying to do that in your building?
Yes. And because we're a partner with the county,
right,
it's in our lease, you can't do it. Most leases here in the Marina, you can't do it because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they get caught right away because the neighbors rat them out, especially during COVID. We had a couple that we had problems with, but it's like, there's a different family there every day or every week or every, and it's just like, they just feared that they were going to all catch COVID from, these people coming in and out. So they turned them in, and then you got to start the eviction process. But yeah, it's really hard to do Airbnb in the Marina. Is it probably anywhere it is, but for here, especially because then the county gets involved because they actually they don't do it as much as they should, but they actually have a person in the county that looks at those things, and then they'll go on for boats because there's a site for boats and there's a site for apartments, and if they'll send an email to us and say, hey, what do you know about this boat, or what do you know about this apartment? So it's interesting.
That's actually really, I had no idea that it got to be like to that level where emails.
Well, they want the percentage.
Sorry?
They want their percentage.
There is that.
There's always a catch.
There is a catch, because not only do we give them a percentage of every apartment that we rent, they want the percentage from the Airbnb people for what they make off of it. The county wants a percentage of everything. Whether it be a phone booth, which we don't have anymore, washers and dryers, vending machines. It's not just the big items they percentage. They do everything.
Really? The washing machines and vending machines and that stuff too? Really?
Oh, anything you make money on, you've got to report it, and then you've got to give them a percentage that they set.
Wow.
Interesting.
You really are giving us the inside, like the curtain has been pulled back.
Be careful what I say, maybe someone from the county's listening, but it is interesting because, I'll give up what we give 26% right off the top of my boat slips go right to the county of Los Angeles, and 18% of my apartments. And the thing they also do is, times were tough and we were discounting. So we give, say the market rate is X number, let's just say 2,000. We rent it for 2,500, 1,500. we still have to pay them the percentage on the market rent, not what we make off. Does that make sense?
No.
No. Okay, so.
No, I mean, no, it makes sense what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
But that's the way it works.
But okay. I'll
And
just.
then there's a minimum ground rent you have to pay. So if we don't have, if no matter what happens, we got to give them a minimum, which is what happened to a lot of the restaurants here. Even though they were closed for all those months, they still had a minimum ground rent which they had to pay. So although they made no money, quote unquote, they still had to pay their minimum ground rent.
It was a wild 2 years. We'll say that. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. And fingers crossed, we're on a good swing. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been, wow, I feel like we've learned so much. This has been incredible. Okay, this has been like kind of like seriously pulling back curtains. Like, we thought Kelly was going to be lighthearted. He's like, no, let me tell you how it goes.
This is like an investigative take on everything going on in the marina.
But this is awesome. So, I mean, really, you're kind of like the one-stop shop for info. Let's just be realistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure there's a lot more people here that know more than I do.
I love it. You're so involved in the marina and you've seen, it progress and you're deeply rooted. So if people have questions, we're going to send them to you.
All right. I'll get him an answer, whether it's my answer or someone else's.
or just make one up. Okay, now we know. Okay, that's so oh great. So he just made everything up. So that's good too.
No.
Perfect.
I can see your fact check person in the background checking everything I say.
It's all about the fact checking. We're fact checking right now. We're going to be live afterwards. We're going to have commentators be like, no, he didn't say that. We're going to yeah.
A disclaimer: this is not necessarily of the chamber or Binge.
So let's talk about your involvement with the chamber really quick before we hop into the fun. So how long have you been a member? Let's talk about your history with the chamber.
I'm old, so dates are bad. Our original company started with the Marina Del Rey had a chamber and they merged. So we opened in 1972. So technically we've been a member of the chamber since that, but probably 15 years or so. But I really do think the chamber, I mean, and in all seriousness, as much as I'm talking now, if you ask anyone else 10 years ago, I wouldn't talk to anyone and I would barely do things. And then I went to Leadership Academy and for those of you that haven't done it, I really recommend it because it's the greatest thing. And that one class where they make you stand up in front of people, they picked me. And I was like, this was the worst day of my life.
Oh, no.
And then I started getting more, and I like the chamber because you can pick and choose what you want to do. So then I became, chairman and I was petrified of that. And Christina's like, start with just the Pledge of Allegiance, because she knew I was uncomfortable talking in front of people, and especially a big audience. And then it sort of evolved, the welcome, and then this and that. And now I still am petrified to stand in front of people, but I do a little better. So the chamber for me has been showing that they have a lot of support. So I like that, but it's just like, that's how I got involved in so many things, because the chamber had a marina affairs, much like their public policy, but they will focus just on the marina. So they had that program, and that's kind of how I got involved in it.
Love it. And the chamber's empowered you, and look at you blossoming.
Well, some people may want me to go back in my shell. But,
no, never. We don't want you back in your shell.
But no, I do thank the chamber for that, because they. Again, whether you just go to the mixers and that's your thing, or you want to network, or you really, really want to get involved, they've got public policy, they've got this, the teacher committee, I don't know what, the education committee. There's so many different things that maybe a lot of people that are either members or non-members don't know what the chamber has to offer.
Yeah, I think you tapped on a really good point there, because it really is whatever you want to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're there for you. Doors open, calendars online, ask some questions. It's like it's great to be a member, but it's so much more than just paying a monthly due, like actually get your money's worth from, or your annual due, sorry. Yeah. All right, there's our pitch for the chamber. Okay. Chad's like in the background going, good job, guys. Good job. Thank you.
Or Chad, you can see him in his Hawaiian outfit.
I know. It's a
So I
little-
think it's time.
All right. Drum roll, please, everyone. Welcome to the rapid fire round of Binge Live. You will have 3 seconds to answer the following questions. Kelly, are you ready?
Can I get 6?
No.
Because I'm old.
I'll give
Now
you
you
4.
have 2.
Number just went down. Just kidding. Okay, here we go. Are you a better cook or baker?
Cook, because I can't follow directions.
What's your favorite go-to recipe?
Prime rib.
Ooh.
You
Okay,
fancy.
so picture this. You have a fleet of ships. What do you call it?
Kelly's Armada.
Oh, I love it. Tell us the length of time that you've lived in the marina.
33 years.
Nailed it. That was an easy one. Got it. Tell us another historical fact about the marina.
For those of you that are Beach Boy fans, unfortunately, the Beach Boy that drowned was on our dock, our 1100 dock, all those years ago.
Way to bring it down. Way to bring it down.
You know, I like to mix it up, you know, some happy things, some sad things.
All right.
What else about the marina?
I'm going to give you another one to bring it back up.
Thank God.
Okay, so name one place that you'd like to sail to.
Australia.
Ooh, how long of a journey would that be?
Oh, I have no idea. The way I sail, I'd probably never make it.
And what is the
You're
best
talking about-
boat parade decoration you've ever seen?
Oh, there's been so many, and some are really controversial. But we did have, we got in so much trouble for this, but I thought it was funny. We did have a pole dancer one time.
Okay, wow.
It was dressed as an elf, so it wasn't like that. But it was how unique to see a pole dancer in the middle of Marina Del Rey.
I mean, you know,
But we got a lot of phone calls about it, so.
I believe
I'm
it.
sure.
But it was funny.
It's creative.
Yeah.
If you could find one cure or solution for a world problem, what would it be?
There's so many. I unfortunately would have to would say cancer probably, because I think it's a world problem, and my mother passed away from cancer. So
Yeah,
you know,
that would be amazing. We're making
Yeah.
progress.
they are actually they had some drug or something they tested on some people or something.
Yeah, there was just another trial for breast cancer, I believe. That was very promising from what I heard.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite cocktail for happy hour?
Does vodka, straight vodka sound as a cocktail? Just straight vodka. That's all I drink.
But is it in a glass or just a bottle with a straw?
It depends on where I am.
Depends on where you are. And last question, Kelly, tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Oh, there's really nothing fun about me.
I feel like all of our audience would disagree. Okay, Kelly, just for giggles, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I would never sing. I could barely talk. I could never sing. Plus, I wouldn't be like, what would you say? Sober enough. That's the word, because I never know what that word is. I wouldn't be sober enough to follow the words and sing. I'd probably get up there and fall over. So no, not going to happen. Sorry.
Great for entertainment, everyone. Kelly King.
Wow. Good. Okay, so that was, thank you, Kelly. Yes, thank you. So we have a lot to unpack here. Like we're
That
gonna have to, this is turning into like a telemed call. Like
That
it's
was
gonna
quite
be.
the rapid fire round. This will go down in history for sure. I can just hear the feedback.
You can put all the disclaimers you want. He was drunk.
You started off our weekend with a bang. I gotta say that.
Asian, you know, whatever.
Okay, I don't know what to say right now, and that's a lot.
We're speechless, but we loved having you.
Yes,
It
So
was fun. I'm sorry.
For
You know,
being
it was-
thanks for being a fun sport.
and I gotta say, I remember because Kelly, you are painfully shy.
Yes.
So this was actually because I remember at one point, like a long time ago, we had talked about you doing this, and you were like, "No, I'm never going to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And now, so for you to do this was actually, I'm glad you take the time.
Yes.
Oh,
Grace us with your presence.
Yes.
like I said, the
Wow.
chamber has given me so much that I really do, like being a chamber member and whatever I can do to help.
That's awesome.
Love it. Thanks.
So I think we're running out of time here. So this was awesome. I want to say thank you, Kelly, for joining us. This was really good. Really appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chamber. Be sure to tune in. Everyone get excited for this boat parade.
Yeah. Apparently we don't know what we're going to see. So yeah.
But there will be fireworks.
That is true.
And potentially phone calls. Yeah. So again, thank you so much, Kelly. This was awesome. On that note, have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Enjoy.